oddly shaped feet.
Really?
All right, guys, we are live, episode 79 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thanks for joining us here. Dustin's in the house. Dustin, what's going on?
What's up, guys?
Nice facial hair you got going there, man.
I grew
What's it
this
about?
for the beard Casanova. This is I'm going to go limited and win it all. This 3-Gun Nation series.
Yeah, there has been some pros that said it does help.
It's
So,
a requirement.
Yep. And we got kind of like our first official, the Shooter's Mindset co-host, and that's Jennifer Seymour. What's going on, Jennifer?
Not much. Glad to be here. I don't have a beard. I did not grow one.
We can fix
Slacking.
that. We can put the Google effects on.
I'll let you boys keep that.
This is real. This is man fur.
Yeah.
Dustin, are you the only male on the panel that does not really have facial hair?
Yeah.
I got a little bit.
All right. And the guys you are here to see today, and that's the owners of Carbon Arms, and that's James Casanova. What's going on, James?
Not much. Thanks for having us on here.
And Mark is in the house. What's going on, Mark?
Not much. Thanks for having us on. See if we can have some fun.
Yeah, no doubt. We're definitely going to... The Q&A section, for those of you guys who are new to the show, we got a Q&A section in the bottom left-hand corner of the show. Click that. It'll open up like a little separate window, and you guys can fire any live Q&A questions to any of us here on the panel tonight. We also have posts going up on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. You can also ask questions over there if the Q&A is not working or you just prefer to use Facebook. Head over there and post your questions below. Got a great giveaway here, but I want to start off with some announcements first. Generation 3-Gun registration is tonight in about 28 minutes from now, and that's at 9:30 Eastern Time at matchdirector.com. So if you guys are looking to shoot that great match, last year I heard it was a really good match.
Yep.
If you don't got a slot, or you're not as cool as Dustin, who's getting in or somehow, go over there at 9:30 and be sure to register, support the juniors and stuff on that match. Definitely, we
definitely a
talked about
blast this year.
Jennifer. Yeah, I think where is in Missouri, right? Where's that
Yeah,
match?
Lake of the Ozarks. So it's right on the lake. Yeah, it's right kind of middle of Missouri. Lake of the Ozarks, a great attraction town. You guys can go out in the water. It'll be during the summer, so it'll be nice and warm. Great venue. It was pretty fun stages. Just Chad and Jesse and everybody just ran that match awesome. So it was a good fun match.
Yeah, so there you go. Have it 9:30. Get your butt in there. Get on your computer exactly 9:30, so you can make sure you get a spot. We talked about Jennifer being the new co-host of the Shooter's Mindset. So applause if I find the Google app. I will do it somehow to make the actual real applause sound. Yeah, there you go. We talked about the Q&A show sponsors here. We got Fort Mill Munitions. That's teamfmm.com. Go there for your handgun, pistol ammo needs. Use discount code TSM5. You get 5% off. They have some hollow points. They had some 124 grain hollow points shooting minor load. The other day they posted on their Facebook page. We also have Brett Russo and Blade Tech Industries. So bladetech.com for all your holster belts. They got a lot of stuff over at Blade Tech, so go check them out, bladetech.com. And then I think we can jump into it here. For those who are unfamiliar with Carbon Arms and yourself as shooters, can you tell us a little bit more about the company?
You want to go first, James? You want me to?
No, you go for it, man.
So, I started shooting many years ago. Basically, started out just looking for trying to find a sport that I could enjoy. So I shot high power and silhouette, all the traditional straight line sports, and got bored with them. So then at one point, as I was shooting USPSA pistol for a couple of months, Michael Bain called me up and said, hey, there's a new sport. So we actually started an IDPA club. It was the third club in the nation. So I shot that for about 5 years, and that wore off for a while. I went back to USPSA, and then I actually shot, I think it was 2004 or 2005 when I actually shot my first 3-gun match. And then where I met James was at 2006, maybe 2006 or 2005, I can't remember. Anyway,
Somewhere in there.
somewhere back there, 10 years ago or so. Met him at Rocky Mountain 3-Gun. We worked that together for many years, and as a shooter, that's kind of where we came from. I hunt a ton. I pretty much put my guns away in September as far as my competition guns, and do dove hunting and duck hunting and elk hunting and all that kind of stuff through about middle of January. Then it's time to get ready for 3-gun season again.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, so like Mark said, we met shooting 3-gun about 10 years ago, and I shot USPSA pistol at the same time. Shot that mostly for the next 5 years or so. Got into 3-gun real heavily about 5 years ago, and just went down that rabbit hole. And I don't ever put away my competition guns. They're out year-round, and we started Carbon Arms jointly as kind of a hobby to begin with, because we wanted to make these carbon fiber handguards that one of our friends actually started and didn't want to produce them, so he gave us the blessing to go forward with that, and we improved on things and kind of went down that rabbit hole, and now we're we got into the shotgun loading, and we were kind of on the forefront of that whole thing, so that worked out really nicely, and just having too much fun with it.
Yeah, if it was 2009 and we were shooting a 3-gun match, you'd hear James and I say, shoot 9 rounds out of the shotgun and throw the thing in the trash, and then shoot your rifle and pistol. We hated shotguns.
Yeah.
So we love shooting, 3-guns so much that we just decided, hey, let's beat it. So we beat it through engineering and innovation instead of struggling learning the Kurt Miller's method.
I tried hard. I put a lot of effort into learning that weekend, and man, those guys that can do that well, my hat's off to them.
Yeah, I mean, some of those guys are amazing.
What is the Kurt Miller method, by the way, if you don't mind me?
Oh, people call Kurt Miller the weekend guy. So the grab
Mr.
4,
Weekend.
and put 4 in underneath,
4x4s.
and then James actually did a Carl Carbon did. Do they call it the Carlock Shuffle? Is that what they call it, James?
Yep.
So he did that. Carl was just phenomenal doing that method. So. Yeah,
we kind of hybrid the two, and we hybrid that the Carlock Shuffle with the Twins Load stuff that was coming out of Europe, and kind of tweaked the technique a little bit that way for what we were doing, and it worked out really well, and just kept adapting things. So that's in a nutshell.
Yeah, there's been a lot of innovation, obviously, since then, especially when it comes to shotgun gear and shotgun loading techniques, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think, like, the weekend load, like you said, a lot of people hate that technique. It's something that takes a lot of practice to really master.
Yeah.
You guys, as 3-gunners, is it still a technique that you should at least still be good at, because you found maybe in a certain situation during a stage that you use it, or you just completely abandoned the weekend load?
I was saying for the first couple of years that we were doing this stuff with the Twins, I was keeping that going, saying, yeah, you should definitely keep learning how to do it and keep it in the arsenal. I literally haven't used it once in 4 years. I have done a weak hand twin and a strong hand twin, but it's only been the twin technique or quad technique, not the one shell at a time technique anymore. It never hurts to have an extra tool in your toolbox, but I don't think it's necessary anymore.
I agree. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I've been practicing. I don't know if you've watched some of the videos, but I'll leave my gun up on the shoulder and I'll just flip it and I'll put 2 in. I can do it in 1.1, 1.2 seconds. If I'm going to go to a caddy and grab 1 or 2 shells, it's going to be slower than that. So I still can't justify using a slower method.
There you go. Yeah, Keith Garcia is one of the guys that I think it's fair to say that he's kind of mastered that technique and kind of went away from it recently. So you can see that it's kind of just becoming an old way of doing things, and nobody does it anymore. If Keith's not doing it, it's old. Don't do it anymore.
Yeah, that pretty much.
There it is. Let me see here. We got a Q&A come from the awesome Patrick Kelly. He says, kind of going to optics real quick here. He says, on James' recommendation, I picked up a Burris AR-1X. How did you zero yours, and any tips on using it?
Awesome. super psyched to hear Pat got one of those because I love this thing. So it's got a 4.4 minute center dot, which is a fairly large dot. It's bigger than the old Leupold prismatic that we used. Turns out works pretty good anyways. It works really well anyways. The way I zero for 200 yards, and I actually use a 9-inch paper plate and staple that to a brown target. So I've got a white 9-inch plate on there. 4.4 MOA at 200 yards is, for all intents and purposes, with the naked eye, 9 inches. So your center dot overlays that white plate exactly. You line that up. That gives you a really, really solid reference point and alignment, and then you send your rounds and put them in the middle of that paper plate, and you can adjust from that. But that'll give you a really solid. You can shoot sub-MOA groups doing that with from 200 yards with the dot on there, no problem, and it'll give you a real solid 0. And then from that point out, you just do the ballistics math and use the dot and the holds, for your reference points, basically. So far, I haven't found that the lateral holds, the ladders down below, are really all that necessary, because you don't hold off that far. I'm so used to using just the center dot anyway. But they're kind of handy. They're really nice horizontal references, so they keep the scope vertical. Which is one of the tricks with these dots, is you don't cant the gun over a little bit and start sending your rounds kind of crooked instead of straight up and over. But that's the trick that I found for it, is use a target dot that matches your reticle dot size and center them that way.
Yeah, we had Patrick Kelly on the show a few episodes ago, and during that episode I kind of created this question here because he said it live during that one. He said, Patrick Kelly said James Casanova can beat most pros with a 1-power scope. Is the simple 1X powered scope overlooked in 3-gun?
I think
I've seen you.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, I've seen you smoke, 1-for-1 steel 300 yards plus with a freaking red dot on your optic, and people who are, running 4 powers and 6 powers or making up shots, and I definitely know that once you get dialed in, man, you're a beast when it comes to the red dot.
A lot of people probably don't know this, James, but tell them what scope you used your first 3-gun match.
Oh yeah, I started 3-gun with a 3-18 IOR. That's what I was. I thought I needed more magnification, and for the first couple of years, if it was less than 10 power, I wouldn't shoot it because there was no way, and it was actually 3-Gun Nation that got me to switch to the prismatic, because they had this. After the first year, they changed up their qualification or the series points way, the way you could get points through the series, and you could get more points shooting smaller divisions. Shocking. So I jumped partly because of that, and then they changed the rules again, and that didn't actually occur. But by that point, I had already signed up for Ironman in Limited, and I couldn't get into the TAC Ops match, so I went, all right, I guess I'll give Limited a try, and it kind of went on from there. It turned out that it's a whole lot of fun, and yeah, I think Anthony, to answer the question, I think they're very heavily overlooked, and I think people over-magnify a lot. They spend way too much time dialed way too far up and looking for targets, trying to find where the next one is. You've got to do too much landmark memorization on that, and trying to find the target in that small field of view. It slows you down there. Plus, you've got to deal with dialing back and forth and run over to this port. No, you forgot to dial. Now you got to dial it back, or back and forth that way. With 1X, you don't have to think about any of that. Your holds never change. Your reticle is just always right the same thing. It's very simple. It's very fast, and quite honestly, from 300 yards and in, unless you're shooting really small targets and the target presentation is tough. If you're sticking skinny Sammys out, gray skinny Sammy in the shadow somewhere, you just can't see it. That the scopes have an advantage. But if you can see the target, 300 yards and in, I don't think magnification even has an advantage anymore. The non-magnified is kind of cheating.
You just like little teeny tiny targets.
Yeah.
They don't move nearly as much, when you're looking at them that way. They're not jumping all over in your scope. They're just nice and steady.
Yeah, see, that was the opposite. Me being a pistol shooter jumping into 3-gun, I had an EOTech for my first local 3-gun match, and the first stage was like 4 clays at like 100 yards, and with an EOTech, it was literally the reticle dot was the same size as the clay. And I was like, I broke my first one. I was like, hey, that was pretty easy. Went to the second one. I was like, whiff, 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 break, whiff, 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 whiff. So after that stage, I was like, yep, I'm getting an optic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it is fun to see the target too, and I plan on shooting a little bit more TAC Ops this year. Just partly because working with Burris, they've got some really cool scopes that I want to play with, and that's the best way to do it. So it is fun to see them, but there's something very satisfying about whacking little teeny pinheads out there all the time too.
There you go. All right, so switching into caddies because we've got a Q&A that just came in from Gunner, but we're gonna hit this question here. Carbon Arms offers some versatile shotgun shell caddies, different models, some different systems. What different models do you guys have to offer?
Primarily we have the backbones, the pinwheels, and the chest rigs. So here's a 6-round pinwheel set up on a tech lock. That's pretty common. People like that. This is one that I actually put on my back. So I run the shells upside down. I've just put 2 shells on an ELS clip. On my rig, I've got a 10-round pinwheel, and I've kind of got a unique system here. I've got the ELS is actually mounted on a CR Speed. I do not like the Safariland belt, but I love the ELS clip system. And I just, these are mounted from my angle. If you look at the 2 as I rotate it, you'll see the angles are a little bit different. Set those up for depending on how I grab so that my wrist doesn't bend. And I think they got either Jennifer or James can show you a chest rig. Nice.
That's one, and then that's the granddaddy here. You got 48 rounds on that.
I don't have enough real estate for that.
Jennifer's is a backbone on the chest rig. That's our standard chest rigs, 24 rounds. And then what James has is the 2 backbones separated to put 2 of them on, so 48 rounds. So something like Iron Man, you may want that many rounds.
This was great. I'll say this was great at the shotgun match that we did because one of the stages we had to shoot under a wall that was, maybe 18 inches tall, maybe. And like my clips are so low, I can't, hardly bring my legs up to get down. So I took everything off my belt and just wore this, and it was so much easier to get down.
Yeah, I might have to get one of those Jihad belts for the Missouri 3-gun. The end of the month, there's like a 45-round shotgun stage that I know Dylan had a hand in it. He said he didn't, but it's too much shotgun for him to not have it, and he's going to it, so I know there's scheming afoot.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. There's video of Jennifer shooting that stage at the Versamax where she's like doing a split underneath this small...
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little scared of that one.
I think the ladies clearly had an advantage in that stage.
I'm just glad we did not have to get up on the clock, that we finished down, because it was not graceful getting up. I'm glad the camera was off.
Yeah. So there you go. What do we have here? Let's get into the giveaway here before I get too carried away here. I got a Q&A. We got a couple Q&As coming up, but let's announce this giveaway here. We got a Carbon Arms feather custom color and custom length, kind of similar to this one here. This one's a blue one. So we're going to give one of these away. Also, Dewey Rods is doing their pistol rod. I don't have that out right here to show you, but if you watched last week's show, they make a fantastic pistol rod to clean your barrels with. We got a Hex Mag. Good local 3-gunner donated these. So 30-round Hex Mag. I got a patch. I got some stickers from Hex Mag there. So big up to the Hex Mag folks. Also, we got some from TacticalLife.net. We have some Sure Grips. So I got here a Glock 42, and it has like a wraparound rubberized grip. So those are the Sure Grips. And all that stuff's going out to one winner. That giveaway is going to end midnight tonight. That's Eastern. Promo, we'll have the link in the comment section below. It's also best way to find it right now is over on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. So go check it out. It should probably be one of the top posts right there, so you could get into the giveaway. You can enter there. We'll select the winner on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page tomorrow evening. So very good prize package. You're getting a mag. You're getting a carbon fiber. You know, those are super lightweight. I think James has a red one. He has a really, I mean, his is really, really nice. This one here, I got blue here to match my jersey and caddy system.
Nice.
So you got to pick your color there, man. It's pretty awesome. Great giveaway to a winner there. So I'll try to get that posted in the comments section if it's not there yet. Keep the Q&A rolling here. Dustin, you had one over on Facebook. You want to hit that?
Yeah, they're rolling in now on Facebook. So Mike said, a question for James. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Casanova. I really didn't know he had a first name. So he said, what is your normal practice routine, and how often do you practice?
Shamefully, not nearly as much as I should. I don't really have a normal practice routine these days because I end up traveling so much. Most of the practice is done on the road. I do a little bit of dry fire. Again, not nearly as much as I should, but that's been kind of the most normal thing. We're kind of lucky here. We can shoot right nearby, so when I can, we get out and do that. The biggest shocker to most people is I spend more time shooting groups than I do pretty much anything else, or shooting short little drills. I don't set up big stages. I try to keep it a lot simpler so I can do some good shooting in a condensed time period.
There you go.
Nice.
Let's see here. The Gunner he says he owns 4 FSL-12 loaders and only used 2. I keep the extras because they're not regularly available on the website. Is there a reason for the limited runs?
Yes, they are rather expensive to make. They just don't sell nearly as well as most of our SSL products. So we typically keep the FSL 8s in stock. But the 12s, probably 60% of them that we make actually have gone overseas to like Russia, Czech Republic, and those kind of places. So we haven't done a run of them in about 6 months. We get a request maybe, I don't know, once every couple of weeks for an FSL 12, and that's about it. So that's primarily the reason.
So if you want some more, Gunner, just go ahead and send them an email or something. We'll have their email down below or something. Maybe they can hook you up there.
When we get enough requests in, we do a run of them, and like Mark said, we kind of wait and do them on an order basis.
There you go. We've got a lot of Q&A here. I know Jennifer Seymour just picked up, and Mark and I know James are affiliated with them. The Lucas gun oil stuff. You guys, Jennifer, you picked them up as a 2015 sponsor. I think you had a question regarding some Lucas oil.
Christoph Cortez on Facebook wanted to ask Mark. He said, I understand you've been doing some extreme weather testing of the new Lucas Extreme Duty oil. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. One of the, I call it the most real-world test. I'm an engineer, and I do a lot of forensic engineering, which is failure analysis. So I've got access to a lab, both at the School of Mines and my own lab. So I can shoot the stuff, look at it under a microscope, and actually do FTIR and be able to tell if the oil is actually sticking to the bolt carrier group or the various slides of pistols that I've been testing it on. But the one that to me kind of made the mark to me that there was something significant is I took one of my AR-15s, suppressed. I was shooting Wolf ammo, which is steel cased and a little bit dirty, and it was in the -15, -18 degree range. And I dumped 2 mags and 2/3 of another mag, so I put about 80 rounds through. And typically what happens when you do that in an AR-15, you get it really, really hot in the cold weather, and all the crap that you've now put into your action, the carbon, the soot, will actually form little ice crystals around it, and it'll freeze the gun up. So most lubes are going to fail under that condition. And you actually need to do a heat cycle. So you need to get the gun hot, let it cool all the way down, and then shoot it again. And I was coyote hunting, so I traveled to another spot, set up, did my calls, got a coyote calling in, and about 200 yards away, pulled the trigger. Everything worked fine. Did that a couple more times over the course of about a week and a half. So for a gun to be able to run in those conditions, suppressed, short barrel, a DI system with crappy ammo, and still be able to function is, at least for me, the most extreme real-world test that I've been able to do on it.
Yeah, you get a lot of blowback too with doing it suppressed and doing a short barrel. If that's what you said, it was a short barrel.
Yep, short barrel suppressor. It was the worst configuration that I could come up with to test along in the cold weather.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that Lucas Oil. I mean, that's kind of, I think, of like NASCAR or cars or something like that. So I guess we're kind of getting mainstream, maybe, or maybe just companies are trying to cash in.
Yeah, I don't know
maybe,
if you can actually see it behind me. There's a jet dragster, and I actually used to race NASCAR and NHRA, so I knew Lucas pretty well. So when they came out, I'm like, they make some pretty good products. So maybe I'll see if their gun stuff's any good. And sure enough, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm glad it'll work that
awesome.
well, but I never want to shoot in the cold that's cold enough to freeze my gun.
Agreed.
I don't like the cold, sorry.
That's all right. I went antelope hunting one time. It was minus 38 degrees. That was the high.
You're crazy.
It was, yeah. I was 16, so I told my dad it was child abuse.
Yeah. As long as you get it, I guess if you were able to take something home with you, or you were able to get something, I guess it kind of makes that weather worth it. But if you're sitting up there for too long, then it's just horrid.
Well, when it's that cold, antelope don't run, so you can kind of walk up next to them.
Yeah.
Because they're frozen solid.
When it's that cold, shotgun
you just kind of
doesn't
chip
load
off the
either.
chunk.
Go
Yeah, it
out
was
there with a K-bar, man.
Pretty cold.
Dustin, you got one on Facebook you want to hit quickly?
Yeah, Trevor on Facebook said, what is the best piece of advice you could give a new 3-gunner coming up, I guess? So how about this? What gear would you need? How many caddies do I need? How many mags do I need? That kind of thing, I guess.
I'll say the same thing I always say. Don't buy anything. Go to the range, borrow some stuff, ask people who look like they're experienced to borrow their stuff. I mean, 3-gunners are weird. They like to loan their guns and gear out. And try it. I mean, this is an expensive sport when we're talking about 3-gun. So the more you can practice and play with other people's stuff before you start investing in it, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Definitely best piece of advice we can give you is you're going to spend plenty of money. Don't spend it twice.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's definitely true. Like, guys, all hell, I had an IDPA match that I put on indoors on Tuesday, and we had 2 guys literally walk up and like, oh, you guys are doing a match? Can I shoot? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And oh, you need a mag? Here's a mag. Oh, you need some caddies? Here's a caddy. Or here's a holster, and here's some not shotgun caddies. I got that on my brain now, but pistol mag pouches and stuff like that. So it's definitely a very friendly sport.
It is.
Yeah.
So start being a bum and start bumming stuff off of people.
Yeah, just pay attention to what works and what they're getting going. There's a lot of things that you can spend money on and get 6 weeks or a month down the road, and that's all it takes to realize that you just didn't get quite the right thing. I mean, I know Mark and I have both done that. I've got a shelf full of pistols that I thought would be the perfect thing, and thank God I never bought the HK Mark whatever, the big honkin' 45 that I really wanted that was $2,000 and isn't any good for competition, so but yeah, it's way better to get out there and play with other people's stuff and see what works and learn that way.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that
how many
let me get it in here, Dustin, real quick. Piggyback off of that, I actually put a post on Facebook, and anybody got any spare caddies laying around, and I got 2 other companies, caddies here, and I was playing around with them, and right off the bat, I found one that I know wasn't going to work for me. I just didn't like the way there was no flex to it. It was just solid. Found one that was decent, and then I went out to a 3-gun match. And obviously, these were borrowed. These were somebody, in the gun box. They, had some dust on them. So I didn't have enough shells on that borrowed caddy. I needed more shells for that one shotgun stage. So a buddy of mine, Ken Fusco, who I shoot with here locally a lot, had a carbon arm set up. I believe he had a backbone, and he let me threw that on with some tech locks on it. And then I loaded with that, and then I used that, and I ended up really liking the carbon arm setup. And this is what I ended up, going with here. I have mine. These things are so versatile that if you look at everybody's here, they're all different looking. They're all at a certain angle. They're all chest rig here, at it. You can do a lot of things with them. You can take some off, add some on there. So you got a lot to work with. I kind of like when I do the quads. I kind of like a space in between. A lot. Some people just can do it without having that space in between. So that's the current setup there.
Nice.
And that's what I was lucky enough to have some friends on Facebook. Jesse Tischhauser was one of them who lent me his stuff, and Michael lent me some nice caddies to use, so at least to practice with. So that was awesome of him.
Nice.
Cool.
Very cool.
Justin, you wanted to add something on there before I?
Yeah, just kind of going with the question too a little bit, and I know when we go to matches, we got the huge gear bag. So how many caddies do you, Mr. Casanova, take to a match?
So I'm just switching over to quad loading. Last year I went to most of my matches with the 24-round backbone, and I'd take an 8-round pinwheel that I could throw on as an extra for most stages, and then a few of the matches like Rocky Mountain, Ironman, those kind, I'd take a chest rig with me. This year I'm switching to the quad load right now, so I'm running 2 12-round pinwheels. And then I'll have a 10-round backup as well, that same kind of thing. It can go in a third position on a big shotgun stage, and again, chest rig for the huge stages. So, I like 24 rounds minimally on me pretty much at any time. It allows me to, if I need to, I can make a gap and put some slugs in a spot and put buckshot in another spot, and then have 12 rounds of birdshot, or I can mix things up quite a bit. So the extra real estate is helpful.
Yeah, my go-to number is whatever the stage count is times 2, because I suck with shotguns. So I'm like whiff, hit. All right, we're double loading.
One of the interesting things, when James and I started shooting shotgun or started shooting 3-gun, it was interesting. You watch some of the top shooters, and there would be a stage that required, say, 30 rounds, and the top guys would shoot 30 rounds. I mean, people were not missing because a miss was such a huge penalty. Now with the increased speed of the loading, people are missing more. So it's in order to go fast, you got to be at the top. So I think that I typically carry a lot more rounds, spare rounds, with me now than I used to, because I do miss sometimes too.
There you go. Let's hit some Q&A here. Let's see. George D says, "How did Dustin get that beard?" It's just out there.
Oh man!
As soon as Casanova came in the chat room, it just grew out. It was Casanova logged in, I logged in, and then it just happened. It's majestic.
It can be contagious, yes.
Yeah.
It's frothy. It's manly. Yeah.
Let's see. James, my regards to him. That's from Adrian Tan.
Awesome. Howdy, Adrian.
It's probably, I think, yeah, I know he's probably, I think it's like 8 or 9 in the morning over there.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. He also says Adrian Tan, James is highly talented, and he was born with that beard. So it's another one from Adrian Tan. Also, Adrian Tan here, he's got a bunch of them in here. Also says Carbon Arms rocks. So just tons. The guy's always full of compliments. What a good dude.
We love Adrian. He's awesome.
Yeah, got a chance to meet him. Let's see, Dylan. Let's see, we got some from Dylan here. How much would it cost to keep James into limited/factory?
Well, I'll get back to
Dylan, I've got his scope down in the shop, so if you send me some money, I won't send it to him. So.
You just take like a little ball peen hammer and just tap on the side real fast. yeah, I zeroed it in. Yeah, it's zeroed. Don't worry about it.
He also says he claims no responsibility from Dylan.
Nice.
Let's
I
see.
don't know. Dylan can come play in factory anytime.
See? Mischief afoot. I told you.
That's right.
There you go.
He's got his claws in everything.
And the last two here are my Q&A here. Keep bringing them on, but I just cleaned out the whole Q&A here. Adrian Tan, Carbon Arms will do great in Asia Pacific. Do Carbon Arms have any plans to come over here and dominate this part of the world?
Absolutely. We're working with Adrian on that one.
So in the works
He
there.
did some custom TSM caddies, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he did some cool caddies. He's done a bunch of cool caddies.
Yeah, I got a couple here.
Yeah.
I got mine. Mine's got that lightning anodized red color.
He does some cool engraving on them.
Stuff. Yep.
Very awesome. Also, ask James if he needs to slim down to catch up with Patrick.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah. You obviously put laugh out loud behind that one. So that's for the Q&A. That's what I got.
So, Southern food.
Bacon.
So sweet to eat.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The carbon fiber handguard seems to be growing in popularity. You kind of see a lot more of them popping up. What makes the carbon fiber handguards unique?
What makes the carbon fiber handguards in general unique, or ours specifically?
I would say yours specifically. If we're talking about you guys today, let's do that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we don't do is we leave our carbon fiber handguard full. We don't cut holes in it. We don't slot it. Carbon fiber as a material wants to be, a one piece, a monolithic piece. So our tubes are significantly more rigid than some of the other ones that are slotted. So guys that shoot open, that want to put a sight or a bipod or something out in front, that's one aspect of it, and you're really not saving any significant weight by slotting them. But the barrel nut is really one of the things that's people don't talk about barrel nuts from an accuracy perspective, but our barrel nut is such that it really aids in the accuracy of how you build the rifle. So that's one of the things that I like about them, is that I can put a barrel on, and I know that if I install that handguard, it's the barrel and not the handguard. Other systems, you're chasing it. What is it? Is it the gas tube? Is it the handguard? Is it the barrel? You don't know what it is.
Yeah. There you go. So we showed these a little bit earlier, but if you guys are just joining us here, it's what we're talking about here. So this has, like I said, these can be cut to length, and they can do a bunch of custom colors to them. So this is very, I go for the style factor. This here, this is the 1X I was able to. This one's on loan here. This is a Hilux Mini Max, and got it here with a 3X Samson that I'm doing some testing with. But this is also on loan from a shooter, George Rodriguez here, a local guy that I've been shooting with. He also has a lot to do with the Hex mags being donated, because he's a sponsor shooter with them. So if you see that dude on the range, just give him a quick thank you.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. There you go. And that there, anything to add as far as carbon arm, as far as the carbon fiber stuff? Jennifer, have you played around with those?
No, I haven't gotten any of those. I do have a wonderful mag tube on the end of the Stoker shotgun that is a carbon arms, and I do love it.
Yeah.
But I haven't played with any of the handguards.
Yeah, they're super. Obviously, everybody knows carbon fiber is very light material. So if you're looking, for a light rifle, I like my rifles. This is personal preference. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I don't like them muzzle heavy. I don't like the weight to be up there, and adding a light handguard like that really aids with that type of stuff. So there you have it. I know we had a couple come in for James. Some some drills or some drill questions. Are you with me?
Yeah, actually, you're talking about Yeah, I got you. Jeffrey on Facebook said, what would be the top 3 drills, since you don't practice too much, what are the top 3 drills you would practice for 3 gun? Or what's your top 3?
Again, with rifle, honestly, my drills. I do a lot of group shooting and a lot of ballistics. Checking my ballistics, knowing exactly where things are going. So running through a chronograph, just doing precision shots that way. Then there's a bounce drill that I really like, and you can do this at a bunch of different ranges. But what works really good is 50 yards with a 6-inch plate or 100 yards with a 10-inch plate. Offhand, you start standing, port arms, and buzzer goes. You make one shot. Well, you shoot till you hit the plate from standing. Then you drop to a knee. You shoot till you hit it from a knee. You go seated, prone, back to seated, back to kneeling, back to standing. So you hit it from each one of those positions, down and up. And by the time you stand back up, it sounds like a pretty simple little thing, but your heart's pumping, and if you're trying to move fast and all the rest of it, it's surprising how you can burn through an awful lot of rounds in a short amount of time. Well, it can get to be a long amount of time too. But that bounce drill is a really good one. And then just doing a lot of sight picture drills where watching what's happening as you're coming up and making double taps, or as you're working across an array of targets, watching where that sight's going every time you pull the trigger, and really tracking the sight. And that goes for shotgun, pistol, and rifle. That's something that I learned late in the game was how to track a sight and actually see what's going on there. And that tells you a whole lot about how you're holding the gun, how you're moving, what's going on with the comp, if you've got on your rifle, just all those different little X factors that come into it. So those are things that I really like. Then there's always just the part-time skills drills, draws to first shots, and 8-round loads and all those things.
We have another question here from Greg Zinn. It's also for James. He wants to know, what's your procedure to zero a variable power scope? We heard how to zero your red dot, but the variable power scope, he wants to know how you zero it.
Pretty much like everybody else. I actually, with that one, I like those gridded, the gridded out zero targets that give you 4 or 5 different bullseye marks and give you a 1-inch grid. And just using a center dot, again, that's good enough that you can see it in your reticle, but isn't so big that it's hard to get really centered on the thing. And just center it. I just zero it at maximum magnification at 200 yards again. I use a 200-yard zero for pretty much everything, for 3-gun. Just because my brain, I don't have to then translate things. I know the ballistics for my ammo. It doesn't really matter what optic I've got on there. I can think in the same holds and all that stuff. So I just keep a 200-yard zero for everything. And at that point, you've got pretty much point blank, for our target size, point blank from muzzle contact out to about 250 yards. But just dial her up and get it tight.
There you go. Oh, I know Carbon Arms also offers some 3-gun training and some firearms training in general on the website. So, Mark, any training classes coming up, events, or any projects, any shows, gun shows, or anything coming up?
There's a couple things. I'm going to the Girl and a Gun University in April down in Texas, so I'll be teaching shotgun loading there. Then I'll be going to Raton to teach at the 3-gun University as well. So those are the 2 things that are close in. I don't know if you saw my we call it a 4-gun course. It's kind of really a misnomer. I've had a couple people that have asked me what that course is about, and basically I take out about 15 of my own guns and ammunition, and it is a nowhere to proficient in one day. So each student shoots about 800-900 rounds, and we go from rim fire all the way to precision rifle out to 600 yards, and they walk away with 6, 7, 8 pages of notes. And the couple that did it a couple weeks ago, they called me up on Sunday afternoon and they said we slept all day on Saturday. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Nice.
if you're walking away with that much notes still, there's a lot of information there, so it seems to be very worth it. If you guys want some more information on those courses, you go to carbonarms.us, and there's a section on the website where it goes over. You can purchase it there, and it goes over some of the details also. So there we have. I got a lot of Q&A here piling up here, but we're going to talk about the giveaway here. The giveaway is a Carbon Arms carbon fiber handguard, like we showed and talked about earlier. That's going to be, obviously, could be custom length and a custom color. You can see how awesome they look when you add some color to them. Also, we're going to do a Dewey Rod pistol length rod, awesome rod from Dewey Rods. We got from George Rodriguez. We got the Hex Mag, the 30-round Hex Mag. Please, if your state has to be, legal to own these things, or for me to ship them over there. We were talking a little bit about the state I visited this weekend. So 30-round Hex Mag comes with some patches and some stickers. That's awesome in itself. And then we got some Tactical Life from tacticallife.net. We got some Sure Grips to add to the mouse gun or the full-size gun. They have it for a variety of different pistols, so you get to choose there. Midnight tonight, giveaway will be on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. So even if you don't have Facebook, be sure to shoot over there. You can still pull it up. Enter the giveaway. The link will be there. It'll end midnight tonight. One winner, and we'll select the winner on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page tomorrow evening. So awesome giveaway. Thanks to the companies who contributed to that. Q&A. Let's hit some Q&A here. I got a bunch kind of piling in here. We got one here for James. James, do you and from Mark and James, because this can be, this is kind of shooter's preference. Do you use different bullet weights? This is kind of this is from Patrick E. Kelly.
I shoot whatever Patrick Kelly says to shoot.
That's a good idea.
That's science.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because of science. That's why. I shoot 55 grain, typically 55 grain FMJs in close, 100 yards and in, and then anytime that I need precision, even though the 55s are more than capable of good precision out, I shoot a 69 grain Nosler ballistic or Nosler hollow point for anything basically beyond 100 yards, just because my confidence factor goes up, and so if I feel confident about it, I'm going to shoot better. So I go with that load, and Freedom Munitions loads with that stuff. They also load a 77 that I shot a lot of too. I like the way the 69 shoots better personally, so I use those two, the 55 grain, and both of them are Freedom Munitions loads, and they're pretty sweet.
And I do the same thing. I shoot 55s out to usually 100, 150 yards, and then I switch to 69s.
There you go. And you guys how do you guys plan that? Because obviously there'll be some stages where you're hosing targets, and then you're running out to deep into 400 yards. You just kind of count them down in your mag?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're going to have a stage where you're going to shoot a bunch of stuff pretty quick, and then the long range, there's very few stages that you shoot the fast stuff, the long range, and then again go back to fast stuff. But if I've got, say, a 30-round magazine and there's 10 targets, I know I'm going to shoot 20 rounds at those targets. The last 10 are going to be 69s. And then my reload is going to all be 69s if I need it. Typically I try to make my magazines so that I don't have to do a reload, either using a 30 or a 40. Depending on the stage, but if I'm going to go to a rooftop or a house or a prone, then I want to make sure that magazine that I'm switching to for shooting precision has my 69s in it and is the right height for that particular setup.
Yeah, and I mean I'll go one step further sometimes on some of it, and if you're looking at a stage where you've got 10 targets total to shoot with paper, and then you're going to go to some long-range steel, I don't even bother with the 55s. I just run 69s through the whole thing, and I don't have to think about a mag change. I don't have to think about recoil impulse changes. And one of the things that still surprises me half the time is if I'm shooting 69s and then transition to 55s, it's boom, boom, pop, and that first one is like, did something go wrong? Oh, wait, no, it didn't. So I get lazy and I shoot more 69s, and I don't know. Part of it is a luxury maybe of having enough around, but yeah, I do get a little bit lazy and shoot a lot of the heavier bullets too.
There it is. So well done there. I mean, I would never thought of actually mixing and matching bullets. I'd figured why not go all 65s or, but I guess obviously there's some price, involved there. Obviously it's probably more of an expensive bullet to load, but there you go.
Travis Jordan wants to know how James got his beard so awesome. We just had to throw it
out. I think I rubbed baby seal oil in it. I know. I honestly, I got lucky.
Yeah, there it is. Some luck. Patrick Kelly uses Hoppies. Dustin, are you using the Fire Clean stuff?
It could be the Fire Clean.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So luscious and thick.
There you go.
I do the fire.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
I've seen a Casanova walk around stages with 2 different mags, and I've seen you walk the stage and try to figure out where you're going to be at with what mag, and so I've seen you game it with that, so I know what you're talking about. And I mean, it's good, especially if you're going up on a rooftop or something, or off of a car.
Oh yeah.
To figure out where your elevation is going to be. So it's definitely a smart deal.
Absolutely, yeah. Test fit.
There you go. And we had James on a previous show with his former team. So if you guys want a little bit more some shooting advice that James threw in on that show, I believe it's episode 14. So if you guys want to go back through the arsenal of the shooter's mindset, you would find James on another episode featuring with the boys of Team Noveski at the time. So awesome stuff there. What's the most predominantly changing trend in 3-gun right now? So Mark, I'll just leave this one to you. This is from Michael Payne.
Wow. I think right now that the whole industry is in a state of flux. I think this year is going to be very interesting. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I think that the way we have shot stages for years has changed, and so I think that maybe at least in 3-gun there's going to be different brands, different types of matches that are going to emerge, and so we'll see. I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of different styles out there right now as far as matches are concerned. So it'll be an interesting year.
Yeah, it seems a lot of people are going to heavy and doing the 308 thing. I don't know, Dustin or James, Jennifer, you have anything to add as far as the trend of 3-gun? If you see it, where do you see it kind of moving?
Well, I mean, I see so many women are getting involved in it now. I think that's a change. I mean, before traditionally it was kind of a male-dominated sport, and it still is to an extent, but I think us women are kind of making our presence known in there, and there's some really, really good female shooters coming out this year, I think.
I'd say that's probably one of the biggest changes is the fact that we are actually getting a significant number of female shooters into it now, and that's new in the last couple of years, really. And it's really, last year was really the explosion year. So, yeah.
And major companies signing on for major, deals for all those ladies too, which is awesome. Great support there from Samson and Brunel's and big names. So that's pretty cool. I noticed that. Yeah. I noticed this year a lot of changes going on between just the shooters and companies. So there's a lot of movement and a lot of changing up and what everybody's using and where everybody's going to be at, and also venue changes. A lot of venue changes of different matches. So maybe good things, hopefully.
Yeah. Adrian Tan, what does James recommend for scopes for an AR-15, and what does he think about the Vortex optics? So a lot of the Razor's a very popular optic. I don't know. What are your general thoughts?
Well, so this year I came to Burris, and I personally think this is I think they're one of the top companies out there. Not necessarily in the standpoint that they've got the absolute best thing in the world. I do think they have extremely good optics, But because the company doesn't stagnate, they don't sit back and sit on their laurels. They're constantly improving their product and always making things better and listening to shooter input. And that's something that's really unique. I've talked to an awful lot of optics companies over the years that aren't real interested in hearing things. They've got their operator guys that they want to talk to, and that's the only people they want to hear from. And so you get these things that are almost right, and there's a lot of scopes out there that are so close. What I really like about the Burris line of scopes that they're doing is they're really high quality, they're built well, they listen to the shooters, and they actually change and improve regularly. And you still get an awesome piece of glass out of the thing without breaking the bank. Now, I mean, obviously there's awesome scopes out there, Swarovski and Kahles and US Optics, and I mean those are all beautiful scopes, but you spend several $1,000s a piece on them. So those take that into account. Vortex is a great company. They're another one that they don't sit around too much, which is nice. I know less about them just because I haven't. I've shot through some of their scopes and liked them, but I just haven't done a lot with them, so I can't really speak very intelligently on them. They're great guys. I know I've played with their Spitfire 1X quite a bit, and Scott was the guy with that was awesome. So. Those guys, they're great guys.
Yeah, Mark is also running a Burris, and I believe Jennifer also runs one. They're one of 5X.
Yep.
The XTR2. It's great.
Yeah, right now I run an MTAC 30, so that's what I run right now.
There you go.
So, I went from the TAC 30 to the MTAC to the XTR2. Just followed along the line. So, great glass.
I've been really impressed with them, playing with them. I mean, just taking them out and shooting them side by side. The last few years, the optics that I've been shooting are Swarovskis and Kahles, and I voluntarily went to the Burris from those. So, I mean, take that for what it is.
Yeah. That's a price difference of, I don't know, like $1,200 or maybe even something like that, going from like price of scopes. So there you go. I mean, I have not had a chance to play with the Burris ever since Pat Kelly recommended the one power that we talked about earlier. I've been looking more into them, but currently use a Trijicon, and I have some
good scopes too.
There you go. I really want them to make an AccuPoint 1-6 though. I'm not too. It doesn't seem that the VCOG. I don't know, but that's another topic for another day here. Let's see, Michael. Not to mention the juniors are running front in the standings, so a lot of junior 3-gunners causing some havoc in the leaderboards.
That's a good point too.
Yeah. There are some juniors that are doing phenomenal. My 13-year-old is running the AR1X as well, and it's funny. He has a couple of reasons for wanting to shoot in limited. One, he wants to beat Jamie, and
that's me.
He calls James Jamie, but he also looks at Pat Kelly. He likes Pat Kelly and goes, hey, those are two guys that I want to learn from and advance and eventually beat them. So he actually chose his division. I mean, I told him he could shoot TAC Optics or he could shoot limited, and he actually chose to shoot TAC Optic or to shoot limited primarily because of Pat and James.
That's a nice goal to have, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going after the big dogs.
and we're both jealous because we're getting old and slow, and he's just getting stronger and faster.
Kid is fast.
Just don't even teach him how to shave. Just when it starts, just no shaving. He's got to start now.
Yeah. He's got to have something different, though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is when I came in, I had to do the homeless guy beard because Kurt Miller already had the porn stash, and Pat Kelly had the goatee and all that. So I had to do the homeless guy beard. So yeah, with limited, you gotta have your own. You gotta have your own brand.
So who has the porn stash? Is it Pat?
No, Kurt Miller. Kurt Miller.
No. He's got the Fu Manchu, the big.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, and you got yeah.
There was some other
good facial hair in there too, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Dustin, you got two you want to hit?
Yeah, I got some on Facebook here. Robert is asking, I guess we'll say it for both of you guys here. What do you feel is the most beneficial, I guess, thing for your shooting mental pre-game, not including Chick-fil-A, of course?
I was never part of that.
You know, it's really just shoot your own game. You know, I've been blessed to be able to shoot on some of the super squads, and really have gotten myself messed up, trying, putting pressure on myself to shoot a little better, a little faster because the big dogs are there watching. Can't do that. You got to shoot your own game. Pretend that it is just a local match, and you're still gonna, be in the top 5 in your local match. Do what you know you can do, and don't try anything that's really high risk that you haven't already tried in practice or in a local match.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that in a sense, because, I mean, I know a lot of guys, like you said, to shoot your own game. I know a lot of guys that would beat me in a local match, but then when it comes to a major match, they kind of like flop. And I think a lot of, it depends on the shooters, but some guys really like get, this is a major match, man, I got to do well. They kind of get this thing in their head that once something small goes wrong, it's like the match comes kind of tumbling down. So I've always looked at a major match, whether it was an all-pistol match, and that's what I primarily shoot, is it's just another local match. And I always feel really comfortable in a major match. I never really thought of it as being this, oh my God, I'm not going to get a first place trophy. I never looked at it like that. So you'll see that, though. You really pay attention to the guys you shoot with locally. Like, you see a bunch of guys, and then some of the guys are usually right there with you or usually beating you. Then in a major match, you'll see them just kind of flop, and you take it.
Yeah,
so
I don't know if Pat remembers it, but he actually told me this at a major match after I had screwed up a stage, and he goes, "It's just fundamentals, man." And I actually have that written down on my phone in a couple places where fun is in capitals. Have fun and fundamentals, and just that really one sentence just really changed that match for me. And it's something that I've been able to remember. Just have fun, because you're shooting guns. It's always fun, and do the fundamentals. Do the things that you know how to do. Do them as well as you can.
I think that's important. Like, I'm still very new to this, and I'm not anywhere near top 10 or finishing first or anything like that. But like, it is so hard to I shoot a good many matches with Jana because we're in the same area. Like, I'm not going to shoot like Jana right now. There's no way. I might not ever shoot like Jana. And I have to slow down just because she's going so fast. I need to just play my own game and have my own goals. And the shotgun match, that it was bad, but I had issues with. We won't even talk about it. But anyway, had some issues.
We don't know where that gun came from.
We don't know where that piece of junk gun came from. No, I'm just kidding. But I had issues with the gun. But like, at the end of it, I didn't place well, but I quad loaded the whole match, and that was like my goal, was to quad load. I quad loaded. I didn't chicken out. I quad loaded the whole match, which James can't even say he did.
I chickened out.
He chickened out. He twinned out and chickened out. I'm going to call you twin out. So, but I think at every match you got to have your own kind of goal of what you wanna do. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I always, when I'm shooting matches, and I've shot, and talking about ladies, Randy Rogers, it's like I was shooting with her at IDPA, and yeah, it's like the dog chasing a car. You're not going to catch it, and if you do, you're not going to know what to do with it. So shoot your game, That's definitely true, because if not, you're going to fall on your face hard, and then you do screw yourself up for the match. So, got another one on Facebook. What's your ideal of the perfect all-around 3-gun rifle setup? Barrel length, twist rate, profile, gas system, all the goodies. I guess what are you going to be running?
Oh.
Yeah.
No such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, is there are a whole lot of ways to skin that cat, and there are a whole lot of good guns and good combinations, and a whole lot of bad ones too. But there's a lot of ways to do it right, and it comes down to personal preference. Yeah.
Or the wind blows another way, and something new comes out, and you're like, oh, I got to have that thing and strap that on there.
And there's a lot. I mean, if you go through and you look through the forums and stuff, there's every other day somebody has just designed a brand new game changer. Probably not.
Yeah.
It's you can go out and pick up a average AR-15 as long as it's made of quality parts. An average auto-loading shotgun, put a tube on it, and a Glock 17 or an M&P, 5-inch with 17-round mags, and if you are beginning, your score will be the same shooting that stuff, or if you're shooting Jerry Mikulik stuff or James Casanova stuff. There's certain things that are beneficial, but at some point, if you try to think that you're going to buy success through gear, you're just going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, agreed. So let's get into the lightning round here. Some good information there just tossed around there. I know a lot of people tend to, just quickly off of that. I mean, I was the guy that I try to buy the gear that I was that dude, like just spending a lot of money to get the best stuff in the world. And you realize that the results just don't add up because, dude, you got to really practice. And, you could see some good dudes out there with the cheapest gear. And the guys that practice really hard are going to be the dudes that are going to beat you, no matter what they're running. So, here you go.
Case of ammo beats a $2,000 whatever anytime.
Yeah, and I did a video after I made that mistake because you always hear the person, I just bought this gun and they want, what recoil springs do I put in it, and what's this, what's that, where can I get these base pads? I'm like, dude, did you even shoot that gun before you're changing it out? It's like buying a brand new Beamer and trying to put all these aftermarket parts in it. You just got yourself a brand new car and you haven't even drove it yet. Take it easy, man. You know what I mean? So now you're gonna avoid the warranty off bat. So all right, let's see. Let's jump into the lightning round here. Lightning round's a decent one this time. This is for both James and Mark. So you guys get one answer at these apiece. If you can only load on a Lee or an RCBS press, which one would you choose to load on?
RCBS.
I would go the same.
Really? That's the first time RCBS gets picked. Lee wins. Lee's usually the one I think a lot of people kind of learned on, at least modern day kind of learned on that one. So that's why a lot of people kind of go there. Chipotle.
I just buy Dylan after all.
There you go. Just go ahead and buy Dylan, as most people.
Buy Dylan.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
That's something that I messed up on. Everybody's like, dude, just buy Dylan. And I'm like, no, well, I'm just going to go ahead and buy this Lee. I'm just going to ignore everybody else and just go ahead and buy the $150 Lee. And, 1,000 rounds into it, I was slapping myself in the face for it. So, there you go. Chipotle or Moe's? I don't know if you have these restaurants in your neighborhood, but...
Chipotle,
definitely.
Awesome. Well said. I agree. Let's see. I don't have Chipotle waiting for me after this show, but I did last one. Let's see. 9mm or 45. You can only shoot one, carry one. What are you going with?
9.
9
across the board here. Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris get into a fight. Who's winning?
Bruce Lee.
Chuck Norris.
You disgrace the beard.
Yeah.
Sorry. I gotta go with the quick little monkey. I mean.
Yeah. Zombies are outside your front house, office, or window. Rifle, pistol, or shotgun. Which one are you grabbing to finish it?
AR.
AR.
I'm going rifle if I can. If it's my AR.
Yeah.
There you go. So no shotgun love from the boys today.
The rounds are too heavy.
Yeah, it is. I would go pistol because I'm a little bit more comfortable with the pistol. So, but that's all personal preference. Dustin, you're doing the pistol, right? No, you said rifle.
Yeah.
Pistol? Okay.
No, pistol. Pistol with my TTI mags. I'm 23 rounds in my XDM 525, and I've seen Rick shoot headshots at 50 yards. So
right.
Done and done.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go with the X products like drum mag in your AR or something.
See, that's what I'm thinking.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have an X Products drum. There's 50 rounds. Actually, there might be a side charging 9mm 50 rounder on its way, possibly. So that could be the choice.
There you go.
Combining the two.
There you go. Piston or DI rifles?
DI.
DI for me, yeah.
Okay, well there it is. The Adams Arms boys get no love here. Glock XDM or Glock XDM or M&P if you can only shoot one comp and carry one.
Glock.
M&P.
There you go. So the 50-50 there on that one. M&P wins it. No love for the XDM again, Dusty.
No, just they don't know the finer things of life. They're still youngins.
Stuck in the old school.
There's actually a lot of the female shooters around here tend to really like the XDMs for some reason. So.
Yeah.
Jennifer,
There might be some TPI XDMs coming.
Jennifer shot an XDM 5.25 and then went to a Glock 17L recently.
Yeah, but
Yes.
she's a girl.
She's not
She
knowing.
works a lot of night shifts. She was delusional after like 312s. It was a clouded judgment call.
I pick Glock always. There it is.
And Sagan's yelling at me from the other room.
Yeah. And then we have the last one of the day. We have, I guess we can throw in the 5 guys deal, but we got Chevy or Ford, if you can only drive one.
Chevy.
Easy.
Yeah,
You-
Chevy.
You skipped one, Anthony.
What is it?
Deuces or quads?
Oh, I did skip one. Yeah, deuces or quads. So we were talking about
Go
this
ahead,
a little bit
James.
earlier.
Deuces or quads?
That's a tough call. It's a really tough call. I don't know. I don't know. I'm doing quads right now just 'cause, but
Yeah, Pat and James seems to be holding on to the deuces for a long time now.
yeah.
I tend to like the deuces more than the quads. I kind of think, people with the local matches will ask me, hey Mark, should we do quads? I'm like, you're getting close. You're on my heels. Yeah, I think you ought to load quads.
Yeah. You don't think there's enough? There's not enough time saving there to justify? What's the deal there?
For
If
8
you're
rounds.
loading flat foot.
If you're loading flat
if
foot, go
you're
quads.
standing and loading, quads are faster if you hit them. And the thing is you got to hit the load perfect, and you've got to not drop shells and all that. There's a lot bigger if factor on it, and it takes a lot more practice. Twins or deuces is easy. You don't need to practice it as much. You're not going to drop as many shells. If you're moving through a stage, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of advantage on the quads, just because of the complexity difference. But I'm going to do it anyways because it is. If everybody's doing it, there's usually a reason. If all the top guys are there, it's usually a reason.
I think just because I have no real estate is why I have to move into quads.
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time that I actually did a quad load at a match. I don't think anybody else had ever done one. Do you remember, James? That Superstition?
Oh yeah. That's right.
So one stage, and it was interesting because Pat was on our. I don't think Pat was on our squad, but he was behind us, and the Millers were standing back there, and it was. I think Mike Voigt was standing back there, and Robbie Leatham was standing back there, and I had shot just crappy, and it was a 21 or 22 round shotgun stage, and I came blowing through the door, and I threw a quad in, and I remember after it was done, I hold the shotgun up. It's an empty chamber. The RO is like awesome, and Kurt Miller, yells, "That's Mark Pasamanek. I knew him when he was, So it was pretty cool. And then Robbie Leatham was like, "What was that?" So that was maybe 2 or 3 seconds of that 15 minutes of fame. I will remember that fondly.
Wait, he was at a 3-gun match?
He was watching.
He's creeping into my. Oh, okay. He's creeping into my territory. I saw him trolling on Julie's post about IDPA indoor, and he's trolling on that, and now he's trolling in on the 3-gun. You stick to your own game, Rob. Coming for you. I don't need any more competition stealing away from me here. There's a reason why I don't shoot USPSA, an action pistol.
There you go.
Trying to slim the competition down and win that way. It's a strategy there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a team effort. We're teammates.
Play the game where all the big dogs aren't playing anymore. Let's see. You got for Mark and James. What is your match schedule this year? This is from Pat.
Let's see. We've got. What have we got? The regional this weekend. Remington Shotgun next weekend. Superstition the end of the month. Let's see here. Tar Heel, USPSA Nationals or Extreme, not sure, in April. Yeah, it keeps going and going and going.
So I got Superstition, and then I think I go the Extreme Bullets Texas match, and then I think right before that or right after that, there's some training, and then I pretty much run a match and then work a match. So I'm running actually the match director for the Rimfire Challenge World Shoot, the Noveski match here in August, and then the Benelli match at Rockcastle. So my travel is about half running major matches and about half shooting them. So
There you go. So there's some there. They got a lot going on there.
Yep.
Patrick Kelly also chimes in and says we can run doing twins.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
I'm working on it with the quad. I haven't quite got it there yet. I end up dropping at least one shell in 8. So, but yeah, with twins, you can do it in the dark. I mean, literally, training up for the night matches, I was shutting out the lights and doing it with my eyes closed and loading and not dropping shells. So, the reliability factor is really nice.
There you go. Yeah. Let me hit some a little bit more some of my questions here I have listed. I know we got some Q&A talking about shotgun tube extensions, so I'm just going to hit my question off of here, and then we can piggyback off of that one if it still hasn't been answered. Carbon Arms sells a variety of AR and shotgun accessories, including the Gas Hog comps and shotgun tube extensions. What makes, there's a lot of companies out there doing shotgun tube extensions, but what makes the Carbon Arms one unique and different?
Well, both of the products that we make, as far as a tube, is a complete replacement tube. So it's a stainless steel tube. We put a shroud on it, and we actually use the Nordic extensions at the end, but it completely replaces the original factory magazine tube. And there's a couple things that does. Our tube is much stronger, stainless steel. Our threads, we make sure that we cut the threads exactly right, and so the tolerances are very close. But really what happens when you put one of our tubes onto the shotgun is your patterns tighten up, your handguards tighter. Depending on the shotgun, the interface between the barrel hanger and the nut and those threads, that's eliminated, so your reliability goes up. Overall, it's really some of the motivation from it is what the SLP, the FNH SLP tube was, and I looked at that and said, hey, if I'm going to switch to a different platform, I want to have this solid stainless steel tube. So we took it to the Versamax, and now we've taken it to the M3000, and in both cases, they're pretty significant improvements in the total reliability and performance of the shotgun.
What tubes are you guys going to be making them for, or what shotguns do you guys cover right now?
Well, right now we cover the Versamax and the M3000. Now there are some other shotguns, obviously, that have that same thread pattern in the receivers. But James and I have talked about it. We haven't really decided what we're going to do, if we're going to do another platform or not.
We kind of tend to look at the guns that will benefit the most from that. If it's a part that isn't really necessary, we're not really interested in producing it. If we can make a difference and actually make the thing better, then it's interesting. So that's part of it. Is we look at just how the gun already performs and go from there.
Well, is it worth our time to put it in, both from an increase in performance and from what's left in that gun after we put a tube on it? We've tested some other shotguns, but that's the key thing for us. And any product we come out with is it's got to have something that is unique and a performance advantage.
Yeah, and then what sizes do they come in? 10, 12, 15? You guys got different lengths?
So for both those platforms, the M3000 from Stoeger and the Versamax, we sell them from, the Versamax actually from 4 to 12 rounds. And the M3000 right now is from 8 to 12 rounds.
There you go.
And that 12 can be extended really easily with the Nordic coupler and extension tubes. So you can actually take them to whatever length you want by using the Nordic coupler piece on there. So yeah, from that the first nut out, basically, you can make it as long as you want.
So this is a 2-shot extension. So you could put a 4-shot extension and a coupler and another 4-shot extension and a cap on it if you wanted to. Because these components that we put on the end of our tube are all the Nordic MXT.
Yeah, Jennifer got one there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the cart.
Yeah, so that's the Stoeger. Yeah.
Yep.
There it is. I have that very tube extension on my Stoeger, but it's still at Terran's place. So Terran's still doing Terran and TTI, Terran Tactical Innovations is still doing some magic to that. And then I should have it next week with that tube on it. So I got a 12-rounder. So
yep.
There you have it.
Nice.
I just talked to him today, and he's heading out to Area 2. So, Terran, go kill it, burn it down.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Dylan Easley here. If someone wanted to be the newcomer in Limited, what kind of beard would they have to grow to be original now?
Huh. I'm thinking the long mutton chops, maybe. You know, I don't know.
I think just grow it on
Dylan
one side.
would be like the braided. I think he would be like the guy who like braids his, like the Viking. Is that just the Viking look?
That's what I wanted, and the dang thing won't grow long enough, man. I wanted to do that.
Yeah, or put a bead on the end, put a couple of beads on the end, and just rock it like that.
Yeah,
that'll be pretty sweet. You could do the sideburns too. You could do some like cuts in there.
Yeah, there you go.
You can, if you want to be straight up unique.
Go like the Amish or like the Jewish like curl thing. That would be that's new. That's different.
That's different, all right.
That's, you gotta stand out. Never
I like
know.
it. I like it. Yep.
Flying through some of these Q&As here. Schwell11's in the house. What's going on, Schwell? Big shout out to him.
Woo!
He's got good evening, folks. Mark and I have discussed the 300 Blackout. Wondering if how he feels I can use that for hunting. I know the focus has been competition. So.
Well, I've used the 300 Blackout quite a bit for hunting. Depending on the game, I mean, basically the 300 Blackout is just the modern 30-30 lever action. So, with the right powders and the right bullets, it's capable of shooting, white-tailed deer. I'm not sure I'd go after elk or anything with it, but I've shot a couple hogs and several deer with it, and the performance was perfectly fine.
There you go. He also adds in here, is Carbon in the stay ahead mode or still aiming for innovation, or is it a mixture of both?
Mixture of both, I think. James and I both have this, desire to change things, look at things, improve things, and so when we see something, we're like, does that work? We've had systems that we've talked about say, hey, will this work? And we call up, each other, and we'll talk on the phone, and like, do you think that'll work? Sometimes, yeah, it'll work, but is there any really benefit in designing something that's more expensive that is a minimal benefit? So, we keep working for stuff. I mean, everything that we've made, is something that is an improvement to a platform, something that wasn't already in the marketplace. And, we come out with it, and other people sometimes will look at it and go, hey, that is exactly what I wanted. So, that's what we like.
They find that niche, that need in the market, and they're the first ones to come out with it. So there you go.
Yep.
That's the goal. Thank you, Mark, for working so many events. That's from Pat.
My pleasure.
Michael Payne, Mark, what's the next top secret product rattling around in your brain? Michael Payne on this one.
If it's top secret, I can't tell anybody.
Die. We do know where he lives.
If I told you, I had to kill you.
Yeah.
There it is. So there's no secrets coming out there on that one. Some of us can run loading quads. This is from Dylan Easley. He says he can run doing quads.
Is that what he's been doing?
I'm guessing he's doing a lot.
Running, is that what he's been doing?
Oh!
Treadmill stage is coming out, eh?
Yeah, that's rough. We must be practicing some dry fire, running, doing some quads. I don't know. Let's see. Patrick is creeping up to James. Laugh out loud. So that's from Adrian Pan. Hogs on Whitetail is the game from Schwell11. So you said Hogs on Whitetail.
Oh
It
yeah.
was good for 300 black. So. Brandon Gibson. This guy has a, he's got a different. Dustin, you with me? I guess he's not.
Oh, I can.
You hear me?
I can hear you now. You lagged out for a second on my side.
Okay. Did you get that question?
Here.
Nope. Wait.
All right. What caddy system are you running? You're not running the Carbon.
As of who, me?
Yeah, it's for you.
As of right now, I am loading the deuces. I'm working on quads, and as of right now, I'm with AP Customs for now. So.
Yeah. So Brandon Gibson just throwing this out here to the panel. I mean, I don't know nothing about him, but he's just tuning in, guys. What are your thoughts on Invictus caddies? So we show love to all the companies here. So I don't have any experience with them because I've never used them, so I can't give you an opinion. Dustin's over at AP, so he has it, and me, James, and Mark obviously are running Carbon Arms. So we have the backbone. So we did do a show with the owner, Kevin at Invictus. Great dude. He seems to be providing some great customer service. So from that standpoint, I can say but I never used the product. So I can't answer his question here.
I think everybody should get the little. I like Casanova's Jihad belt, so I think I might have to get one of those.
Did we show that? We showed that.
That's going to go to the next. That's the next level. Everybody's talking about. We just talked about the future of the shooting sports. It's the ISIS belt.
Exactly.
That's trademarked, by the way. So I get a quarter for every one you sell.
Yeah.
Done.
A quarter. The Jihad. The Jihad Carbon Arm system. There you go.
Oh yes, this is Carbon Arms. Yes, we do have the Jihads in stock. Thank you. We'll get that right out to you.
Yeah. So every time you hear about let's do a hashtag going here because we did pretty well with the hashtag Black Nitride the World. That's kind of picked up.
I could get this trending.
Yeah.
I am kind of a big deal on the internet.
So what is the hashtag? The hashtag is the Jihad belt.
Hashtag Jihad shotgun. I don't know. I'll make it up. We'll figure something out.
Nice.
That could be a new video.
Your beard has a mind of its own. It's running away from you.
Yeah.
It's trying to get closer. Every time I get close to Casanova, it runs to it.
Yeah.
See? Well, look, it's like, oh, no. I'm like, no, beard, come back.
Yeah. Michael Payne says Carbon also makes 22 LR uppers. Are they accurate? So accurate. So he's saying that I guess he has one and says they're accurate.
Pat Kelly has one, and he actually called me up. I can't remember if he called me or texted me. He said, "Do you know that your uppers are 1 MOA capable at 100 yards?" I'm like, yes, Pat, I do know. So, yeah, they are very accurate.
So yeah, if you're trying to save money on some 223 ammo, you want to get an identical 22 upper to slap on there. Carbon Arms, carbonarms.us, and they have them there to purchase.
This is actually my boys that shoot in a rimfire challenge. 22 upper. They have a 16-inch barrel with a Burroughs Fastfire on it. 4 pounds complete.
There you go. Very nice setup. Let's
They
get
are
into
right to shoot.
There it is. The giveaway. The giveaway for the last time. I'm gonna announce this one here tonight. We have I pronounced his name wrong. So, what a tard. I do that a lot. So my apologies. His name is John Rodriguez, not George. I don't know what I was thinking.
I was wondering about that.
Hey, James is like, yeah, James doesn't even correct me. He's like, oh, yeah, George, yeah, he's a good dude.
I'm like, he must have a brother.
Yeah, but his name is John Rodriguez. Sponsored shooter by Hex Mag. This is coming directly from him, and that's part of the day. 30-round magazine. Please make sure you can have this in your state. There's plenty of them out there that you can't. Sadly. Coming with a HexMag sticker and a HexMag patch. We have a Carbon Arms carbon fiber handguard for your AR. Custom length, custom color. We have TacticalLife.net Sure Grips for the mouse guns and the full-size polymer guns. Have a bunch of variety to choose from. And then I'm missing, a J. Dewey rod. So to clean your pistol barrels with. J. Dewey rods come in there, so check them out. We did a lot of work with them.
That's really my launcher rod. So still waiting on that, Chris.
Yeah, I saw those. Those are pretty awesome. The grenade launcher rods. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have. So the giveaway is going to add midnight tonight. That's in an hour and a half. That's Eastern midnight. We're going to have one winner wins all the goodies today. You can get bonus entries. I didn't announce this earlier, but there's a lot of ways you can get more entries than one. So if you like James's athlete Facebook page, Carbon Arms on Facebook, if you like, Jennifer and Dustin's, all their media, and anybody involved with the show, if you haven't liked them already, liking them right now gets you some bonus entries into this giveaway using the link that's found in the comment section below this video and also on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page right now. So we'll select the winners on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page tomorrow evening. So that'll be the last call for the giveaway tonight. But even if the show's over, you can still enter. Remember, 12 midnight tonight. There you have it. We can kind of, I don't know, you got any? I'm done with Q&A. I think I'm going to wrap up the Q&A. I don't know if you have a couple last-minute ones on Facebook you want to hit.
Pretty much we hit everything. Greg said, Mark and James, how do you contain that much awesomeness?
My wife contains mine for me.
It limited.
Well said.
Pretty much, yeah, everybody said just awesome stuff, great guys, and we kind of hit all the other topics, so good.
Yeah, I have a couple left, and I guess we can hit that and then wrap it up. F&H pistols have been, I had an SLP back a long time ago, but there always seems, with the F&H brand, there always seems a lot of, a lack of aftermarket parts and a lack of, like, gunsmiths willing to work on those guns. So Carbon Arms offers some F&S base pad extensions on their website, so don't think of them just as, some caddies and some hand guards and that's it. So go there. They have them there. That's recently new for you guys, Mark?
Yeah, and I'm showing it right here. It's got a locking tab, toolless locking tab. We've got the plus 6 and 9mm out right now. And then we also have a plus 0. Dave Savigny helped us a little bit with some input on design, as well as a couple of the other guys from FN. So, yeah, they are pretty nice.
Is that an aluminum, or is that a plastic? What is that?
No, it's machined aluminum, hard coat anodized, and the locking tab is a polymer that locks the base pad in. And we sell them with an ISMI spring.
There you go. You're already set to go. So for I don't know too many. I know Chris Areno. I think shoots an F&H, pistol here and there. You got the team. Obviously, you got the team F&H that's going to shoot them. But I don't know too many. But they're available out there. So if you guys want some little plus capacity, you can go to CarbonArms.us and check them out. Like I said, the SLP shotgun, man. When I had it, there was nothing. There wasn't much at all. So I kind of sold that one, and I went with the one that the Stoeger that Pat Kelly recommends. So we'll see how that. I'm sure that's going to be great when I get it. There is a P3K signature shotgun that will be coming out soon from MOA Precision. Nice.
That should be a pretty cool shotgun.
That wasn't even leaked by Pat Kelly himself. Is Mark's leaking this?
I think it's been leaked a couple places already, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that will have a Carbon Arms tube on it as well.
Awesome. Let's see.
On the stock, it should just say wood to wood. That's what it should say on the stock. A little reminder to keep your cheek weld. But that's what he yells at me all the time when we're shooting, which is awesome, and I love it. So.
Wood to wood.
Yep.
There you go. And the last question of the day before wrap up here. What does Carbon Arms, obviously there's a team that came together this year, a Carbon Arms team, but what does Carbon Arms look for when sponsoring a shooter?
Wow, that's a big question. You know, James, Mike Payne, and myself are technically Team Carbon Arms. We have some obviously other people that we sponsor that are recognizable pro names. If you go to our front page, you'll see their names on there. And then we've got, this year we did something new. We've got 10 promotional shooters, and those guys have been great. You know, we require them to do a couple of things, and you know, one of the things that James and I have always had a passion for is to get other people into the shooting sports. And the shooting sports have to be, the sports themselves have to be run by people, and people have to be able to figure out ways to get into the sports. And so, you know, we've launched a website called Element Multigun that has a purpose and a goal of training and educating new shooters to be able to give them information, techniques, and tactics. And these are not, you know, James is not going to teach you how to win a 3-Gun Nation Pro match from watching Element Multigun. It's the stuff that you need to know to get into the matches. So that's a part of what we ask our shooters to do, is to create some videos and some content to help people get into the shooting sports. You know, Mike, James, and I also all worked Rocky Mountain, and that's a lot of where, you know, we met each other. It's where we came from. So working matches is important. So when we look at shooters, we really look at the total package. You know, the performance obviously has some effect on how we looked at people, but bigger than that is, are they good people with integrity that want to help other people get in the shooting sports? Do they work matches? Do they train? You know, help people out? That's really what we look for. And the name and lights is not really that big of a deal to us.
There you go. Yeah, so I probably got that's probably a reminder for me to do some of my videos on my Carbon Arms setup right there. So yeah, I'll get to that. Get to.
Yeah, you might want to get on that, sir.
Yeah, give me my damn shotgun already, do you?
If you want a jihad belt, you got to earn it.
Yeah,
That's right.
They don't want any slackers, Anthony.
There you go. Yeah. Oh. We got a funny one on Facebook, Dustin. That's the last one we're gonna hit. We're kind of running.
And this will be the good one. So, Mr. Lan Win from Dissident Arms, an awesome. They make awesome communist products down in Texas for all the shotguns and Vepers and Sagas and AKs and all that. He said if Casanova's beard fought in Instructor Zero's beard, Chuck Norris would win. And he said, "Great show, guys." So. The battle of the beards.
I like it.
Awesome.
Yep. Nobody beats Chuck
Nice.
Norris, right? Other than Bruce Lee.
Hey, you know, except Bruce Lee's dead and Chuck Norris isn't, so maybe Chuck Norris would win.
It's the longevity of the beard. The beard just keeps them going.
Yep. All right, I think we got a couple more coming in, but I think we're going to have to wrap this one up here. And let's bring it on a shout-out. So what do you have, Jennifer? Let's, start it off with shout-outs.
All right, I've got Savannah River Armory, who has built me an awesome AR this year to shoot and helping me out with that. Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta, who are going to help me out with my shotgun, and of course, awesome range time down there. Great place to shoot if you're local to Augusta. Go and shoot. Load Up Ammunition is helping me out with my ammunition this year, and that I haven't had any issues with their ammo yet. It's been great. Operation X Samson, of course, I'm a part of that. I've got to get on it with my video and finish that up. Anthony and I were talking about that. And
just
then
slacking on the video reviews and stuff.
I know, you're rubbing off on me, Anthony. I got to start hanging out with somebody else. And TacticalLife.net, of course, has awesome T-shirts and bumper stickers, like Anthony says, so I don't get honked at. And then, of course, I've added Lucas Oil just this week, so I'm excited to start working with them and move on forward with that company, too.
There you go. Let's throw some, I got some discounts that I want to throw out here. TacticalLife.net, you put TSM 10 all together, get 10% off of T-shirts, grips, and stickers like Jen just talked about from them, TacticalLife.net. Fort Mill Munitions, if you put TSM 5, in all caps. You get 5% off ammo purchases. DeweyRods.com. If you put CruiseRod10, you get 10% off there.
Giggle, giggle, giggle.
Yeah. I knew I would get it. Or you could put like, I don't know, Jesse Tischhauser's code is like T Tischhauser Rod 10. I don't know.
It should be fancy pants.
Yeah. And Standard Deviation Arms TSM 10 all caps get you 5% off anything on their website. So just some promotional codes to throw out to you guys out there. And Dustin, I guess we can lead it off with your long list.
All right. So Springfield Armory, Animal Customs, Mr. Terran, TTI, CompTech, GB2 Tactical, Dissident Arms, BBI Bullets, RCA, Black Knight Tried the World, H&M, Pro Ears, AP Customs, X Products, some cool stuff coming from those guys soon. Shooter Ready USA, Red Roof Inn, Scaz Photography. Go check out that guy. S3F, and go check out my page. Make sure you give it a like, because we're going to be doing a fairly hefty giveaway again once we hit the 1,000 mark. So
there you go. He's about 150 likes away last time I checked, so around that mark. So 150 likes gets you a 1,000 like giveaway on his Facebook. Mark, what do you have as far as shoutouts?
Well, I'll do a couple of them, and I'll let James take over. Burris Optics, been a sponsor of mine for a long time. Love shooting for them. Great stuff, and been running them for years and years. Nordic Components, all of our shotgun tube stuff is from Nordic Components. They make great stuff. We include that in, obviously, some of the products that we sell. Sponsored by Extreme Bullets this year, so they're awesome bullets. Warren Scope Mounts, I don't know if you guys have seen our new logos, but actually our sponsor from Warren, her husband is the actual guy that designed our new logo that's on our webpage, so thanks to Greg, and
pretty cool.
Good luck to you guys. Lucas Oil, obviously we've been doing some work with Lucas Oil. Really been impressed with the company and the product both, and I'll let James take over.
Freedom Munitions and Extreme Bullets have been huge supporters, great companies. ESS Eyewear is somebody new we're working with this year. 511, Lucas Oil and Protect the Harvest, the Shooter's Source, LAG Tactical. If you are looking for Kydex holsters, these guys do some awesome stuff. They're doing a custom competition 3-gun rig for us that's just really cool. Benelli. Let's see, and then we've got a local crew here. It's Friendly Fire. They're an online gun swap kind of site, and Grand Slam Gun Shop. It's the same people. So I apologize greatly if I missed anybody, but I don't think I did. So.
I think you got them all, James. Between the two of us, we got them.
Yeah, dude. Man, I wrote down a pre-list here, but I think I might forget a couple too. Hopefully, I'm gonna shout outs on my end here. Sub to the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Should be right under your screen that you're looking at.
Finally hit 10,000, by the way.
Yeah, hit 10,000. We're a little bit over that mark, like 10:08 last time I checked. So 10,000 subscribers on YouTube is pretty hard to get. Took me a couple of years to get that, so we're pretty happy about that. So make sure you subscribe for more episodes of The Shooter's Mindset every Wednesday at 9. If you want to contact me, or if you want to contact me to get to Jen or to Dustin, theshootersmindset@gmail.com is that email contact. I want to thank Carbon Arms, Mark and James, for coming on the show and being supporters of me as a shooter as well. That's carbonarms.us, so check them out. Jay Dewey Rods, TacticalLife.net, Snag Mag, Terran Tactical Innovations, Blade Tech Industries. They got Patriot Cases and Barack Wilson over there, man, making a fine product. Traction Grips, Rise Armament, Standard Deviation Arms, Fort Mill Munitions, DK Custom Triggers, and recently I just picked up over Rainier Ballistics. So Shane Hall, thanks for the support. Rainier Ballistics, go check them out for bullets. And I think I got it. Nate Square Tactical, I think I missed them, but yeah. there it is for shout-outs, and thank you guys for watching episode 79 of The Shooter's Mindset. We'll catch you guys next week, and we are out of here. Yeah, we got Jennifer on the shout-outs, man. I feel like I'm forgetting something all of a sudden. Yeah, we're good. And big shout-out to John Rodriguez from the Shooter from Hex Mag, man. We got some Hex Mag. These are awesome, you know. It's kind of, just quickly, I don't want to send any more. But I'm a guy that's slow to new things. Anything that comes out, I'm like, what's wrong with the PMag? There's nothing wrong with the PMag. Why fix something that's not broken? But so he gave me one of these to try out, and I kind of like them. I like the style. I like the different followers that are, you know, you can change out the followers to make them cool colors and match them with my gear. So I'm kind of digging them, and you know, that's maybe I'll use all Hex Mags with one rifle and all PMags with another, just to see which one breaks first. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So
yeah,
there you go.
I gotta say, John hooked me up with one of his comps that he's working with too, and the dude's got some good stuff coming along. So he's a good guy.
Yeah, he showed me that comp, and he told me the story about you really digging it. So I think that's a local company that he's working with. So,
yeah, I like it a lot.
Man, do you know the name of that comp? I don't know. No?
That's a mystery and a top secret at the moment.
There it is. All right, so we'll get it out there when we get a name that we're able to release. So there it is, episode 79. We're almost to 80 here of The Shooter's Mindset, guys. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, and we're out.
Thanks, guys.